I'm Carla Cummins with K-12. I'm so proud and honored to be here with you guys today. And what collectively we have Jolene Levine. And Jolene, I don't even know where you are now.
I'm at
Are we
E.
going to say chair of Ed Market? Or
Yes.
what would that be?
Yeah, so I'm, well, very active, obviously involved in Chair of Ed Market, also doing some consulting for very cool companies who are doing cool things as well in the education space. And yeah, just loving being a part of all of this, to be honest.
Okay, and then we have Darlene Akers.
Darlene Akers of Akers Business Solutions. I'm CEO. We are a rep group out of the Maryland area, but covering the whole East Coast for manufacturers in the education furniture space. I'm also the first chair on the Ed Market board.
And then Dr. Deb Kerr.
Greetings, everyone. I'm just so excited to be here today. I am the proud superintendent of the St. Francis Public School District in St. Francis, Wisconsin, which is on the south side of Milwaukee. And Bold Women has been a passion project of mine. And I have had the opportunity to meet these wonderful women, Darlene and Jolene and others through Ed Market. But this Bold Women Collective was an idea that we all brought forth together because we believe that all women should rise. So we're excited about this.
I love that all women should rise. It's a beautiful thing. So, okay, as we go through and we talk about it, right? And I look at everything, and Jolene has asked me several times, you need to get involved, you need to get involved. And I think so often, especially as women, right, we have a lot on our plates. A lot of the burdens of our families fall on us, a lot of the burdens of day-to-day work, and we don't always recognize that. And I try to oftentimes within our company put that reminder out there that sometimes it's not necessarily that we don't have supportive partners or that we're solo or anything else like that, but it is kind of that woman's burden to really share a brunt of that. And so when you look at the Bold Women Collective, what inspired you to create it and how did it initially come about?
Deb answer that since she was the OG of
she was.
Bold Women.
I was one of the co-founders, and it started in 2019 in Milwaukee at Ed Spaces when the CEO of Ed Market said, we can do this. And so we had the first ever Bold Women, Bold Conversations breakfast at the annual conference. And then it's happened every year since then. And every year it's taken on a different dynamic, a different theme. We've invited guest speakers. We have authors of books that have come to share their journey. But it's brought, I would say, over hundreds of women together over the last couple of years. And we're just taking it to the next level with these virtual meetings that we're having. And also a more intentional conversation of women's leadership at the next Ed Spaces conference in Houston.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So just the coming of fruition, but can you explain the primary mission of it? Can you elaborate on it?
First of all, women need to be bold. And what that means is we're going to be bold, brave, brilliant, and beautiful. And that's through understanding who we are as women and individuals and not having the self-guilt of being a caregiver for everybody else and being the last one on the list to take care of ourselves. But also know that there's other women in our sectors or other sectors that have the same kind of thoughts that we are going through in terms of what could we do to help elevate all women to rise to their fullest potential. Women don't necessarily have a network like men do. And so this is giving us a chance to create this very powerful network of women leaders across the country.
It's fabulous. Do it, Jolene. Darlene, do y'all have anything to add to that?
I think Deb answered it very well, but we provide a platform like Deb spoke about every month. We have speakers on a virtual call with us, and I think everybody starts to look forward to that day when we have our monthly meetings with the Bold Women event. So I definitely want to make sure that everybody marks their calendars and joins us for the monthly calls.
So all I want to add is that, at the last Ed Spaces, and I've been a part of this, as Deb started it, coming to the meetings at Ed Spaces. And the last one was just really powerful. There was like this power and energy in the room, because what was happening was, everybody was like starting to tell their stories and connect on their stories, and, getting very authentic and deep. And I think we all came away from that recognizing that, like, we need to provide more opportunities for this. And it's interesting, Deb mentions like the pressures. I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they're like, the guilt of being a working mom, right? And, like, am I selfish because I'm doing this, or is it better because I'm a happier version of myself? And it just helps, I think, to be around other people, to just have those conversations in what sometimes does feel in certain areas like kind of like a male dominated kind of networking platform, so it's just, yeah, it seemed like there was an opportunity to give something to people that was like they were craving.
Yeah, I always say I grew up in the industry, right? Because I don't know, I did.
Yeah.
And there's two things, right? There's the good old boys, and then there's the good old girls in heels type of thing. And you do have to be able to, in a sense, run with it. So ultimately, though, like as we look at what you guys do, your month-to-month meeting, so it's obviously turned from an annual event to something that you guys are doing year-round. And we actually have several people on our team who are participating that we're encouraging to do each of the monthly events. But what do you envision the collective or how do you envision the collective making a difference in our educational market?
I can probably take that. So we create a great supportive community for women to get together and connect with each other. So we're hosting our annual event, as well as when we get together or when we're on our calls together. We're connecting with each other. We're introducing each other to different parts of our community. And we're growing together. As this platform grows, we continue to grow as an organization. But we also serve as a catalyst for positive change. We're fostering diversity, equality within the education sector.
We're
I
also
definitely, yes,
go for it. Go for it, Jolene.
I was just saying, even to Deb's, with having Deb involved as well, we're hoping to bring more female educators into our ed market community also, and, find synergies. And we're open to all strategic partnerships. Most groups have, women's associations that they're connected into. Our hope, I think, for the future as well, is that we can plug in with more strategic partnerships, provide growth opportunities for the people in our community and our network, give them a chance to meet amazing other women and find mentors and people that inspire them, and, be inspiring too.
So one of the things we don't wait. Oh, wait, Deb, you had something to say. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that everything comes together for a reason. And when we had over 100 and some women sign up to be on our virtual meetings, it was just so exciting and affirmative that women need to have a space and have a time that they could dedicate for this conversation. And so we're providing not only that time, but it's very intentional about supporting women in leadership roles, no matter where you're seated at the table.
Yeah. So at Bold Women's, I'm guessing you guys talk about challenges. We don't like to talk about them, but what challenges have y'all faced in establishing the network of women that you currently have, and how have you overcome them?
I could start with that. I've had experiences with working with state organizations that are very member-driven focus, and they have denied women members of organizations this ability to come together and be a little more intentional and supportive through regional and state meetings. But I'm not giving up yet. I think we've got a lot of momentum here, and it just shows that there is a need for women to have support in whatever association they're involved in, whether it's Ed Market, AASA, your state associations, or your company that you work in, because needs of your employees and members are different. And I've had many allies along the way, people who have tapped me on the shoulder, and a lot of them were men. But now we want to develop this allyship of women who will be tapping other women on the shoulder for leadership.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've been in the industry for, I'm gonna say 28 years, but it's probably been longer. And when I first joined the industry, it was a different view from my side. It's a lot of men in suits. Nothing wrong with that, but I think we've definitely have changed over the time, and we've become you have more synergies with women, and we're really there to support, like Deb said, mentor women in our industry. So there's a lot of challenges that we see, and we've overcome a lot of those with the support of our women friends.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, right, the Ed Market Board has been supportive too, because you need to have those opportunities to get everything out, and to someone to stand behind you and say, like, this is a really great thing. So it's awesome. I'm assuming that you're talking about, Deb, when you brought this up, that it was Jim who supported that initiative, right?
Yes, absolutely. He's not given us a space, but a lot of support and a voice. And that is so important for us.
Yeah. And that's awesome. He's always been one to see a spot where he can grow, to see a spot where he can support. And even, previously when I've known him outside of my work here at K-12, it's always been that way as well. So you talked, Darlene, about mentorship. So are there any mentorship programs or networking opportunities outside of like your monthly ones, right? Monthly are learning opportunities, I'm going to assume. But what other options are there for people who are asking that question? Because you do, like, I'll tell you, I finally had this I'm officially old moment the other day. We had one of our furniture manufacturers who were here. It was a young guy, right? And he said, I'm 23. And I was like, wow, that's amazing that you're traveling all over the place. You're 23, right? So who's guiding you on that? And he went on to talk about, his experience with this company that he's with and how he's been mentored and how he changed that mindset. So what mentorship opportunities are there even for younger women who are coming into our industry who don't necessarily have that strong, confident voice to stand up for themselves and just say, like, hey, this is the support that I need? Are you guys doing anything associated with that?
Absolutely. So you're probably aware that we have Next Gen, which is part of Ed Market. So a lot of the board members have taken mentoring other folks within the Next Gen environment. And so it works out really well. I meet with Chelsea, who's one of that I'm mentoring. Even though she doesn't need any mentoring, she's amazing as it is. She's a beautiful young woman that is knocking the socks off of this industry. But it's just fun to be able to talk to her and talk about the experiences that she's seeing, as well as talking about the experience that I have seen in the past. So we help each other out, and I look forward to those calls with her as well. But I know each one of you have mentors that you're working with as well in the industry.
I think the beautiful thing about Bold Women, Carla, as well, when you think about even mentoring opportunities, is a lot of these young girls coming into our industry, into either architect firms, furniture manufacturers, dealers, whatever side of the industry it is, they themselves don't have a whole lot of opportunity to meet people. One of the biggest amazing things to help in anybody's career is to build and forge relationships with people, in ways that you connect authentically, right? And so these monthly virtuals, and we have done one at NeoCon. We had an event sponsored by KI, and we did a panel there, and we'd love to get out on the move more and be able to pick this up. But really, just by holding these virtuals, creating this group, giving these young people an opportunity to come once a month and meet inspiring women who do have amazing stories to tell, And then we go into breakout rooms. So we really give an opportunity for people to like meet each other and meet their
Mhm.
mentor, which doesn't always happen, you know, when you're sitting isolated in your job and day to day sometimes.
Oh, for sure it doesn't. And two, not all employers offer those opportunities, especially to their younger associates, right? You have to
Mhm.
prove yourself, and it's a little bit more difficult. So realistically, when we're looking at no one's asked this question, or have we talked about it? How do you join? Do you have to be a member of Ed Market? Or do you, the who, what, where, when, why, and how we missed,
Yeah.
right? So how do you join?
So we want you to be a member of Ed Market, but we have actually a link on Ed Market's website that you can go to, and definitely link on that, and we'll connect you with our monthly meetings as well as update you on the happenings of that. We also have a LinkedIn page as well that we'll connect you with.
Oh, you guys will have to definitely send that to me, because I'll
Yes,
even add on to that.
we would love that.
Well, don't
And
forget
then-
the second Friday of every month. That's when we meet at 12 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So we'd love to have you.
I love Deb's spunk every time she says it. She's like, don't you
And
forget.
actually, you know, it's been amazing because we've had such a great turnout. You know, each time we've had these virtuals, we've really had, what's beautiful to see is people coming back, you know,
Mhm.
again and again, and then new people coming every time, and definitely seeing some people from your team, Carla. So thank you to you guys also for supporting, you know, that as well. But
Oh, yeah.
the virtuals, I think, are a really good combination of here's you know, some inspiring story, human person, you know, who can teach us and we can learn from, mixed in with like then getting together in smaller groups and connecting and having your own conversations around these topics.
So you do breakouts in those. So are there any partnerships that you guys are looking for that have been instrumental in it, or that you need to establish for that, right? Like, what exactly are you looking for in order to grow? Because I mean, Neocon sounds like that was probably a beautiful opportunity. How that came about, you know, who knows? But what else is there in the future that you guys need to make sure that you keep meeting the needs of your folks, and two, that you're able to show up bigger and better every single time? Be bold, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I will just say at Neocon, it was an amazing space to be involved and to be a part of at the Merchandise Mart in Chicago, with all the beautiful furniture and the room setups and all the architects and the designers and all the creative people who make things work in our lives. But we were able to touch women who have never been able to have this opportunity. There was a woman from Japan, Sumo, and she was there. She was engaging, but she's not allowed to be bold in her country because it's looked down upon. It's not part of her culture. So that was one of those aha moments for me, in that we had inspired someone who needed to think about herself and her role in a different way. So we're all learning from each other through these experiences. But yes, we would love partners or sponsors to help us take this show on the road, because we are touching people in ways that have never been done before in this industry.
Wow. I think you hit on my next question, like a success story or a notable impact, right? And if Sumo is one of those, that is a great thing, because you don't always recognize cultural differences as well. It's not just women, it's not just men, but it's
Right.
cultural. So are there any other stories from the Bold Women's Collective and its members and its communities that have been impactful other than Sumo that you guys can think of?
Tell you, going back to the same experience at Neocon, when we had our event, it was so nice because some of the younger ladies that were in the audience came up to me afterwards and said, you know, just ask questions about, we're new in the industry. How do I get to know people? How do I get to meet people? You know, I want to be an industry, you know, icon. So what do I do? So they're going to be at Ed Spaces. We're going to definitely get together there. I'm going to introduce them to everybody that I can to join their collective of networks of folks, and as well as mentoring them as well. So I think everybody walked away from that event super excited, very pumped about being a part of this. And if they weren't a part of it, then they joined right away afterwards. So it was a fun event and definitely worthwhile.
Fabulous.
And people are able to share their inspiring stories too through this platform, which they don't often get to do. So the fact that, the more we can get out there and we can bring amazing women onto panels and, they can share their stories that inspire the next person to do something that they wouldn't have had the guts to do, then that's it's an amazing thing. It really is. I think also a lot of us are moms, a lot of us have daughters, sons, whatever it may be. And, I think it's just about bringing groups of people together who are like-minded and want to do good things.
It's fabulous.
A safe space to talk to.
Yep.
So when we're talking about our experiences or just some of our challenges, it's a nice, safe space to talk to other women about our challenges.
And I'll tell you one other just really cool thing, is that it's so, when you're in the Bold Woman Collective and we're in these virtual meetings, you're agnostic to the company that you work for or anything like that. You come as you. And, you it's what's so amazing is, we end up in breakout rooms, maybe with some people who end up, they're competitors, out in the industry that they work in or whatever it may be. But I can tell you, in these breakout rooms, you're you. And I think, for us, that is like something, that we really intentionally iterate, that it is a safe space and you're coming, to be yourself.
Yeah, that's beautiful that you guys are able to break down that barrier of competition and just make it to where you have that open, raw, organic conversations within the groups. I mean, not everyone is able to do that. Number one, not everywhere affords you that opportunity. So that's a great thing. So as we close, are there any additional, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? Did we get it all?
Well, every virtual meeting has been thoughtfully put together based upon the conversations from the previous meeting. So I love that. And I'm going to do a shout out for Jolene. She made the neocon thing happen within 3 months. That wasn't on our radar. It wasn't on our schedule, but she got KI to help sponsor it. We said, who's available on June 9th in Chicago? And there it was. And it was awesome. We've got a wonderful panel coming up in September. Look with Jolene's daughter, Darlene's daughter, my niece, just to bring different perspectives, into the conversation, because this is important to all of us. We're kind of like on a mission to help all women become bold, and we're all going to rise by being together.
The views and opinions expressed on the Better Learning Podcast are those of myself as an individual and my guests, and do not necessarily represent the organizations that we work for, the Association for Learning Environments, K-12, Education Leaders Organization, or Second Class Foundation.